a quiet, forgotten village, where the sun rose over broken roofs and tired faces, there lived a boy named Aarav. For him, poverty wasn't just a condition, it was a constant companion. It sat beside him when he woke on the cold mud floor, walked with him through dusty roads, and waited silently as he tried to sleep each night. Aarav was born into a family that had very little, but loved deeply. His father was a daily wage laborer, carrying bricks until his hands cracked and bled. Some days he found work. Many days he returned home with nothing but exhaustion. His mother stitched clothes for neighbors, her eyes weakening with every passing year, yet her hands never stopped moving. They often skipped meals so Aarav could eat, though he always pretended not to notice. Their house was small and fragile, much like their finances. When it rained, the roof leaked. When the wind blew, the walls trembled. But inside that house lived something powerful: hope. From a young age, Aarav understood one thing clearly. Education was his only way out, not just for himself, but for his family. Every morning before school, Aarav helped his mother fetch water from a distant well. He'd sweep the floor, pack his worn books, and carefully put on his only uniform. It was faded and patched so many times that its original color was a mystery. Still, he wore it with pride. To him, that uniform meant dignity. The walk to school was long, almost 5 kilometers, but Aarav never complained. Along the way, he'd pass children, playing or working in shops. He often wondered how different life might be if circumstances had been kinder. But he never allowed those thoughts to weaken his resolve. School was both a blessing and a challenge. Aarav loved learning, but not everyone loved him. Some classmates mocked his torn shoes and simple lunch. They laughed when he answered questions correctly, as if intelligence didn't belong to someone poor. Each laugh cut deep, but Aarav swallowed his pain in silence. He believed bitterness would only slow him down. What surprised everyone was his kindness. Despite being mocked, Aarav helped others with their studies. He shared his notes, explained lessons patiently, and never asked for anything in return. His teachers noticed this unusual mix of brilliance and humility. When asked why he helped so much, Aarav replied softly, "If knowledge stays only with me, it becomes selfish." At night, while the village slept, Aarav studied under a flickering streetlight. There was no electricity at home, and candles were a luxury they couldn't afford. Insects swarmed around him, cold air stiffened his fingers, and hunger often made his vision blur. Sometimes he'd rest his head on his book and cry. Silently, not because he wanted to give up, but because he was so tired of being strong. One night his mother found him asleep with his book open. She gently covered him with her old shawl and whispered, "My son will change our fate." Aarav heard those words in his dreams, and they stayed with him forever. As years passed, Aarav became the top student in his school, but his proudest moments weren't his results. They were the lives he touched. He helped a friend stay in school when poverty pushed him toward child labor. He taught younger children for free, using chalk and broken slates. Slowly, people began to notice that this poor boy carried a rich heart. When Aarav finished school, his biggest challenge arrived: college fees. His family had nothing to offer except prayers. For weeks, Aarav considered giving up on his dreams. One evening, he sat outside, staring at the same streetlight that had guided his studies, wondering if this was where his journey ended. Then, something incredible happened. His teachers, moved by his dedication, helped him apply for scholarships. After months of waiting, a letter arrived. Aarav had received full financial support to attend college. His father cried openly for the first time in his life. His mother held the letter as if it were gold. College life was harder than Aarav had ever imagined. He worked part-time cleaning classrooms, washing dishes, and tutoring students just to cover daily expenses. There were nights when he survived on tea alone. Still, he never lost sight of his purpose. He studied relentlessly and continued helping others, especially students who felt lost, just as he once had. During holidays, Aarav returned to his village and taught children under a large tree, the same way he once studied under a streetlight. He believed education should reach those who needed it most. Years later, when Aarav stood on the stage receiving his degree, he looked into the crowd and saw his parents. They were older, weaker, but smiling brighter than ever before. In that moment, every single sacrifice felt worth it. Aarav was offered opportunities to work in big cities, but he chose a different path. He returned to his village and started a free learning center for underprivileged children. He provided books, guidance, and most importantly, belief. The same people who once pitied him now respected him deeply. When asked why he didn't chase wealth, Aarav replied with quiet strength, "I grew up with nothing, but I learned everything that matters. If my education can remove even a little pain from someone else's life, then my struggle has meaning." The poor boy who once studied under a single streetlight became a source of light for an entire community. His life proves that true success is just about escaping hardship for yourself. It is about turning your struggle into hope for others. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that matter.